This is how to get maxed out anything in Minecraft. So this will be a list of all the enchantments you'll need to max out your tools and armor. We're going to start with armor, and the first armor piece we're going to be doing is the helmet. The first enchantment you want is protection 4. The second enchantment you want is respiration 3, which extends underwater breathing time and reduces drowning damage. Next one you want is aqua infinity, which increases underwater mining speed to normal speed. Next one is breaking through. Now for the next one, mending, which repairs the helmet when you collect XP orbs. Last but not least, horns. This one is optional since it does reduce the durability faster, but this one causes attackers to take damage when they hit you. Now for the chest plate, and the chest plate does have a lot less enchantments. So the first enchantment is protection 4. Next one is unbreaking 3. And of course the next one is mending. Once again, this one is optional, but thorns 3. Now for leggings, and this one is more complicated than the chest plate. Okay, we're going to start going faster with all these different enchantments. For leggings, the first one is protection 4, then unbreaking, then mending, and of course optional, thorns 3. And last but not least, swift sneak, which increases your movement speed while sneaking, allowing you to move faster in the sneaking position. Now how to make maxed out boots. Let's do another speed round. So the first one is protection 4, then unbreaking 3, then there's mending. Now for the special enchantments. There is depth strider, which increases movement speed underwater. There's also feather falling 4, which reduces fall damage, protecting you from high drops. This one is optional, but Frostwalker 2. The reason I say it's optional is because you have to choose either moving faster underwater or Frostwalker, which allows you to walk on water by turning it into ice. You have to choose one or the other since they don't work combined. Now how to get a maxed out shield. Before we start off, I do have to let y'all know, if you plan on adding a banner, I would add it now, since if you add it with enchantments on it, it will get rid of all the enchantments. Now let's go into the enchantments. The first one is unbreaking 3, and then mending. Those are all the enchantments for a shield. That is all the armor and shield enchantments. Now let's go on to tools. We're going to start off with the hoe, and it's going to be another speed round, since not many people use the hoe. So the first one is efficiency 5, then unbreaking 3, then mending. These last ones are optional, but silk touch, you don't necessarily have to have that, but you know. And fortune 3, which you can't add onto the hoe since it already has silk touch, so you have to pick one or the other. But fortune 3 increases the chances of getting more drops from certain blocks, like crops. I'm going on to doing the shovel. As you can see, I'm getting rid of like the least used things until we go on to the most used things. This is basically the same list. Shovel has efficiency 5, unbreaking 3, mending, and they have to choose between silk touch and fortune. Now moving on to the axe, which has efficiency 5, unbreaking 3, mending, sharpness 5, and this is one of the most powerful weapons in the game now because it has sharpness 5. And now you choose between silk touch and fortune. Now for one of the most useful items in the game, the pickaxe. 3 most common ones, efficiency 5, unbreaking 3, mending. Now you have to choose between silk touch and fortune. I would recommend fortune because that means more diamonds. Now for the sword, and as you can tell, this is not the end of the video since we still have the mace, the trident, the bow, and the crossbow left to enchant. For the sword, there is sharpness 5, unbreaking 3, mending, looting, which increases the amount of loot dropped by mobs, fire aspect 2, which sets the target on fire upon hitting, back 2, which increases the distance mobs are knocked back when you hit them, sweeping edge 3, which increases the damage dealt to multiple enemies when using sweeping attack. On to the trident. First one is impaling, which increases the damage dealt to underwater mobs, unbreaking, which y'all already know, mending, channeling, which summons a lightning bolt when throwing the trident at a mob during a thunderstorm. To choose between these, you can have loyalty. Loyalty means when you throw it, it will come right back to you. Tide means when you hold it and let go, you go flying. Be careful because you still take fall damage. Now for Minecraft's newest weapon, the mace, and as you can see, it has the most enchantments so far. To start off, we have Bane of Arthropods 5, and we have Breach 4, which can't be used with Bane of Arthropods. And Breach 4 increases the amount of attack damage dealt to a player or a mob when using your mace. Then we have Density, which also can't be used with Bane of Arthropods or Breach, but it's Density 5, which increases the damage dealt per fallen block. And we have Fire Aspect 2, then Mending, then Smite, which can't be used with Density 5, then Unbreaking 3, and finally Wind Burst, which emits a wind burst upon hitting an enemy and attacker bounces upwards. Which, if you don't understand what that means, I'll show you. Say I drop down and hit this cow, it'll burst me back up so that I can just keep attacking. Before I go on to bows and crossbows, I want to show a better example of wind burst. So let's just place that there. So I hit it, bounce back up. If I'm able to hit it again, boom. And you can just keep doing it. You can get the achievement, deal 50 hearts of damage in a single hit using the mace. And I'm pretty sure as long as you keep hitting it, it never stops. You actually have to hit it, of course. Boom. And if you hit it again, and I even killed the warden in only 5 hits. How to make a maxed out bow. The first one is Power 5, which basically sharpness but for a bow. And then Unbreaking 3, Mending, Lame, which basically Fire Aspect but for a bow. And then Punch 2, which basically knockback but for a bow. And then there's also Infinity, but this optional, since if you use Infinity, tipped arrows won't count. Plus you can't use Infinity with Flame. Last but not least, the crossbow. First enchantment is Unbreaking, then Mending, then Quick Charge, which reduces the loading time of a crossbow, then Multi-Shot, which shoots 3 arrows at once instead of a single arrow. And there's Piercing, which allows arrows to penetrate through multiple targets. If you hit a cow, you can go through and hit multiple cows. This does not work with Multi-Shot. Then there's also Flame, which sets an arrow on fire, causing extra damage over time. And this is Multi-Shot, 3 arrows at once. Okay guys, this is the video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and if I'm missing any enchantments or anything that was supposed to be enchanted, please comment down below. But other than that, make sure to like, subscribe, and have a good day. Bye.